we've got chilies on this week. Both the boys have been really enthusiastic about this. So there's some complex dishes I've seen. Looking forward to seeing what's happening. What we'll do is we'll hand over to Russ first of all. Once we've done the introductions, gentlemen, if you'd like to please start. I'll do 2 15-minute timers for half an hour and then 3 5-minute timers after that. When I get to 40 minutes, when I give you the heads up 40 minutes, I'd like to see plating, please. So you're ready at 45 minutes down on the dot. Okay. So without further ado, or gilding the lily, Russell, would you like to tell us, please, what your dishes are going to be?
Sure. So hello, everyone. Basically, as obviously the theme is chili, my idea was to do sort of like a sharing table of small sort of nibbles, really, and representing a sort of around the world journey of chili and how different countries use it. It's my interpretation of those areas. So starting off with the first dish, I've got 5 dishes in total, hopefully. Starting off with South America, we're doing a Peruvian sea bass ceviche with a bit of red and yellow pepper. I'm using ají amarillo chili, and I'm going to toss that into a bit of sour cream, a bit of mayonnaise, and finish off with a little bit of coriander. Then we go further north, off to Mexico. So I'm using blue corn to make a blue corn tortilla. And then on there is going to go a little bit of grilled sirloin beef, which I've marinated, and go with a bit of guacamole. The chili element coming there is a smoky chipotle hot sauce. Yeah, a bit of fresh coriander. Then off to America, I'm doing a deboned confit chicken wing, using cayenne chili flakes to make a Louisiana hot sauce. And I've already made another hot sauce just because this is going to be my dinner in the end. So I made a mango habanero as well, but that's just a little extra bit for me. Then we move over, I've gone all the way across to China. So a crispy tofu dish, a bit of tender stem broccoli, grilled tender stem. And we're going to do a general toss sauce, which is like a sweet and sour chili sauce made famous in the 19th century. And then last but not least, on to Japan. We're doing a salmon sashimi. Really simple, but the sauce is incredible. It's got yuzu, soy, miso, sriracha, and the sriracha I've actually made myself. So it hasn't been fermented, but I've made my own sriracha sauce today. So everything's sort of authentic. And it's just going to be dressed over, and it's going to go with a little apple radish salad. That's me.
Are you sure you've done enough, Russ?
Yeah, Russ.
You sure you've done enough, mate? Just in case.
We'll see. I've done
in
a lot
45 minutes. Impressive.
45 minutes.
Impressive. It took him 20 minutes in to tell us all that. Right, okay.
I told you I was
very
going to
much. Gareth, would you like to tell us what your dish or dishes are going to be?
Yeah, so I'm only doing the one dish tonight, unlike Russ. So I'm doing a really nice plate here. I've got a beautiful saddle of lamb. I'm going to do a chimichurri crust, which we're going to use jalapeno peppers in. And so basically chimichurri is South American sauce that goes very well with meat. We're going to make it into a herb crust with all of the traditional accompaniments with it. So oregano, parsley, we've got some jalapeno peppers in there. And then we're going to use some nice dehydrated vinegar powder in there to give it a really nice kick that's going to cut through the richness of the lamb. With that, I'm going to do some just really nice seasonal veg here. So I've got some Jersey Royal fondant. I got a lovely bit of Wye Valley asparagus. Got some nice broad beans. I'm going to make a chipotle and a tomato fondue, which will go really nicely with that dish. And it's just a bit of smoky heat to go with it. So another chili element in there. And then finally, I'm going to do a pan jus. And yeah, that's it for me. A little pea puree on the side there. But just simple, but really tasty, really elegant plate food.
Sounds excellent, gentlemen. Sounds excellent. Well, it's coming up to 1:15 now, so if you want to crack on with your dishes, as I said, I'll give you 2 warnings at 15 minutes and then 3 at 5. Crack on.
Cool.
Russell,
I've got a question for you.
Yep, go for it.
The Chipotle versus Chipotle argument. Which way do you side?
What side of South Africa do you come from, I suppose, is the question, since they both pronounce it differently.
Potato, potato.
Yeah, I think... Anyone want to chime in on that? I've always said Chipotle.
For me, it's Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say Chipotle.
We live quite close by, so
Very close by. You went to the same school, different years. Is that correct?
no, it's 30 kilometers separated, but we played sports together against each other and stuff like that. So
Fair enough.
it was
Fair
quite common. But yeah, he's a couple years above me in age. So
Okay. Right. Well, let's talk a bit more about the food. Russell, what are you starting on there, mate?
so basically, I'm doing my chipotle sauce at the moment. So in here, I've got a bit of garlic, tomato, the chipotle chili that I've bought dried and it's been soaked.
Okay. Does the chili? What is the Chipotle chili? What's different about it from all the other chilies that we get?
It's basically a habanero chili that's been smoked and dried. So
Okay.
it's basically a habanero.
So
It's got
nice
quite a
depth of
nice
flavour.
smoky flavor, and I've also used a little bit of smoked molten sea salt just to enhance that as well.
Very nice.
And then the Louisiana hot sauce, I'm using cayenne chilies. It's a really simple garlic, a little bit of onion, a little bit of apple vinegar, and that's it. All I'm going to do is blend them both now, so I'll go on mute so I don't make too much noise, and I'm going to cook my 2 hot sauces.
Okay. Well, if we go over to Gareth.
Yes.
Hello, mate. That saddle lamb looks absolutely stunning. Now, where did you get that from?
I woke up really early this morning, went to Smithfield's Market, which is really unlike me.
Literally across the road from you, yeah?
Yeah. So super fresh, brilliant in season, and I've literally just blended that really quickly so I can get the fat rendering down. So I took it completely off the bone, and I've just got the double fillets here, which are nicely trimmed up, rendered down that fat, and then I'm going to roast it in our pizza oven just to cook off nicely, and then we're going to finish it with the chimichurri crust. So quite simple, little quick bit of butchery there. But yeah, all good.
Lovely. Looks really good. Chimichurri crust. What's going on with the chimichurri crust?
So I thought it's a good way to make a play on a herb crust. Normally the chimichurri would be a dressing, and in classic kind of French, normally you'd be using a herb crust on items like lamb, etc.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be like a herb crust with the elements of the chimichurri in there.
Just very
oregano, you're going to have the parsley in there. We're going to have a vinegar powder that I have over here from MSK. That's going to give it the bite to go through it. And then finally, we've got the jalapeno chili going through it for a little bit of heat. Gone with jalapeno because it's quite, it's not very strong chili, so you don't want to overwhelm the flavor. You just want to accentuate it.
okay.
So nice and simple.
Marta, just to answer your question, yes, you don't have to use a pizza oven. You can just use your oven at home. It just so happens that they've got one and it's nearby for Gareth. You can just rush back and forth from it. You'd normally do it in an oven, unless you've got a pizza oven. Lovely. So chimichurri, so nice. Okay, very good. Russell's still cracking on. Is he still blending?
So basically now this is like one of the most amazing sauces I've ever come across.
What's this one, sorry?
This is the dressing for the sashimi.
So can you told us earlier on, yuzu, soya, miso, sriracha. What's the actual name of it?
I would just call it a spicy garlic.
Facing heaven sauce, is that what you call it?
Yeah. So basically, it's a chili. So basically, it's a chili that grows upwards, basically facing the sky, and that's how it got its name, facing heaven.
Oh, okay. So that's the chili you're using for it. That's intriguing.
That's the chili that I'm using. Yeah.
Not heard of that one before. I'll have to look at that. And it's called Facing Heaven Chili.
Facing Heaven chili. I think it's the same cultivar as a Szechuan pepper.
Ah, okay. Can see everyone Googling now, checking that out.
Right, I'm going to blend now. So.
Okay.
So basically, I'm just rendering down the fat here, Scott, and I've got 2 pans on, and then I'm going to do a quick pea puree. Just keeping it really simple and fresh. And in the other pan, I'm going to do the tomato fondue. So I'm sweating down the shallots with a little bit of garlic there. I'm going to chop up some de-seeded tomatoes and then just cook it down with a little bit of saffron, some chipotle chili just to give it that smoky heat. And then finally going to finish it with a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon vinegar, which will just like really cut through that richness as well from the chili and the saffron.
Lovely. Sounds great. So, Gareth, you're saying you're rendering down the fat. Why is that important on the lamb?
So basically, if you don't, you just get a lot of chewy, kind of fatty meat in there, which isn't very palatable. You want to render it down just so that it's kind of nice, lean, but also crisp, and all that fat that you can see kind of there. It's really fatty, so there's no oil in there at all, and it's already coming all the way down.
So you're just slowly pan cooking that, and it's
getting
own
it
fat.
off, getting some nice colour, and yeah, that would just make life a lot easier.
Nicer piece of meat, yeah? Excellent. What's going through the chimichurri crust again, sorry? So you've got chipotles, parsley.
No, so the chimichurri is oregano, jalapeno. I'm using wild garlic as well in there instead of normal garlic, just to give it more of that green, vibrant color. And it's also super seasonal at the minute.
Yes.
So it's just like a really simple, like super seasonal.
Russell, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good. So just on the last bit of my blending now. So making a paste. So the South American paste for the ceviche. In here basically is ají amarillo, which directly translated is just yellow pepper, basically. A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt, tomato paste, and lime juice and lime zest. Gonna blend that. I'm just mixing my mayo and sour cream with a little bit of my ají amarillo. Basically just doing this by taste. I don't want it to be too spicy because the idea here was to have sort of different dishes with a little bit of different spice levels. You go with the chicken wings, it's quite spicy using the cayenne chili. So yeah, just
Okay, so that sauce is going with the confit chicken wing, yeah?
Bye, darling. Take care. Love
yeah,
you.
the confit chicken wing.
You too. Love you too. We love
Oh,
everyone
we all
here.
love you too. That's a great.
Sorry, sorry.
Joining
That
in.
is Melina saying goodbye to her daughter, thinking she's on mute, but I'm loving the food
Hi,
and I'm
Melina.
feeling really hungry.
Melina, we love you too.
Oh, we love the fact you love us too.
Oh,
Excellent.
God. Thank God I haven't got the screen on. You could see my red face.
Brilliant. Welcome, Melina. So happy to have you with us. Love you too. From Gregory Hall. Being family right there. Okay. Boys, someone talk to me. What's happening? Gareth, what are you up to now?
All right, so I got the tomato fondue one. I've chopped
Tomato.
So I basically made concassed tomato there. I've added in some chipotle or chipotle, whichever one you want to call it. I'm just going to cook that way down so it gets really nice depth of flavor in it. And in there we've got shallots, garlic, the chili, and then the saffron. And right at the end we're going to put a touch of the vinegar in it, which will just like make it really rich and tasty. On the other side here, I have on my pea puree. So I've sweat down my shallot again with some garlic. I'm going to get my peas in there, bring up to the boil, and then just blitz it quickly. And then my next job is basically getting the herb crust done.
Okay, superb. You'll be glad to know, gentlemen, you're coming up to 10 minutes in. Not 10 minutes left, 10 minutes in.
Ready.
Russell, if we flick back to you quickly, are you all right?
Yeah, no, I dropped something. All good.
So you dropped something. Hopefully it wasn't one of the
Story of my life. All good. All good.
Yeah.
Tomato concasse, Gareth.
Yes. So basically, blanched
Mum.
tomatoes, peeled them, taken out the seeds, so there's no excess moisture or any chewy tomato in there. And then you're just left with pure tomato flesh. And I want it to be really intense and flavorful.
Now doing the base for my general sauce.
Hang on a bit.
little bit of
General, say again, General
sour sauce. It's spelled TSOS. Supposedly named after a general from the 19th century. It was made famous. It was one of his favorite dishes. Yeah, it's using rice wine vinegar, a little bit of Shaoxing rice wine.
Ooh, lovely.
Quite nice golden color, and then just basically soy and chili and a bit of sugar. So it's good, really hitting the palate with sweet, sour, salt, umami, and chili.
Sounds awesome. What's that going on? Sorry. The sauce, Russell. What's that going on?
Now let's go with the tofu.
That's going on the tofu, yeah.
That's my vegan dish basically. It's just going to be crispy tofu, nice bit of broccoli, The tofu is going to be dusted in a bit of seasoned corn flour and deep fried. Once that comes out, it's going to go into the sauce. Same with the broccoli, and ready to go, really.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Scott, I'm just about to make the chimichurri. Yeah, so it's the red jalapeno. I've got the oregano. I've got the parsley picked in there. That goes straight into the thermo. And then I've got the wild garlic, which we picked earlier. I think Phil foraged this around his house.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
Southend on the weekend.
He nicked it out of someone's garden. That's what he's saying.
And that's going in for the chili effect there. We're going to blend this down with some panko breadcrumbs, just to give it a bit of body. And then we're going to fry it off in some butter. And then right at the end, we're going to hit it with the vinegar, the dehydrated vinegar. And that'll just make it really nice. And I'm going to set it, hopefully in the fridge, so I can cut it and put it on top of my lamb. So that could be a bit risky, but I'm going to go for it.
I like it.
Blast chiller.
Yeah.
That's it. Living on the edge. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
Scott, I don't know
Totally
if Gareth's got shares in butter or is related to James Martin.
Yeah, we're going pretty heavy on the butter. So on most of the purees I make, we go for 30% fat content in it. So whether that's double cream or butter. So yeah, that's always the ratio we work on, 30% fat for the puree.
Super healthy then.
Yeah, super healthy. Silly
Yeah,
question. Why so much or so little, depending?
It helps to well, first of all,
It's flavour.
really smooth as it emulsifies all together, and then it's just full of flavour basically.
Yeah.
We're only using a little bit, so you just want to pack as much flavour into it as possible.
Looks amazing. Excellent. Okay, so you're going through that. Russell, where are you, mate? How are you doing?
So now I've just finished just thickened my sauce, the general sauce sauce. I'm going to jump onto my tortilla.
So you're doing a blue corn tortilla?
Blue corn masa harina here. So I've got my dough here.
So masa harina, what's masa harina?
Masa harina just translates to corn flour, if I'm not
So it's
mistaken.
flour, basically.
Flour, yeah. Flour mix, something like that. And yeah, really, really simple to make. Just water, salt, and the flour. And then you just roll into a golf ball size like that.
Yeah.
And then I've got a little tortilla press here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's it. They're really easy to make, aren't they, as well? How do you cook that off?
I'm just going to do it straight into this pan here.
No oils, no fats?
No oil, no nothing, no nothing.
Okay. It just browns it off, doesn't it?
Huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
So is this is the crust you're doing now?
Yeah, so basically I've blended all those ingredients together, and I'm just frying it off in a little bit of butter now. It will just take away a little bit of that rawness, and the butter is also going to bind it because I'm going to set it between parchment so it becomes hard. The butter will solidify it, cut it out to the shape that I want.
Okay, and then lay that over the top of the lamb and then through the oven?
Exactly, yeah. Just at last minute, because I got the pizza oven here and it's running around 300 degrees, I just need to flash it in and lift it up to the top, and it's just going to give it a nice little brown
Crust.
glaze to it, and that's it done.
Okay, superb. Lewis says, time to shine, Rucky. We'll live up to the mentor. How's the masa going, Russell?
Yeah, it's going. It takes a little bit of time. You don't want to overdo it, so I'm on a really low heat here at the moment. Yeah, it can tend to be a little bit dry, so you've got to get it quite right. To be fair,
Gentlemen, since you seem to be doing so well and you're not nearly nervous enough, that's your first 15 minutes. First 15 minutes. You have half an hour left.
Okay,
Well,
I'm going to set my paper now, Scott. I'm going to set my the chimichurri crust.
Lovely.
So all of that's been melted, toasted off there a bit. I'm going to place it in between the parchment, group it together, and then flatten it with the spatula so it gets nice and thick. And then I handily have a blast chiller next to me. I'm just going to go straight in there.
Have you added the vinegar powder to that, Gareth?
Yeah, vinegar powder last second, mate.
Okay.
I have here.
And of course, obviously, if you don't have a blast chiller at home, you can just put it in the fridge to set. It just needs to get below room
Don't do it in 45 minutes if you're doing it at home.
Yeah. Freezer then. So what's that in the back of the pan there, Russell?
That's just simply the sirloin beef that's going with the tortilla. It's just been simply marinated. I've got a little bit of chili in there, a little bit of pepper, salt, black pepper, and yeah, that's it really. We're just going to give it a nice seal, ready to be cooked off a little bit later. For serving.
Very good.
Right now I'm potting my beans, so I have some nice seasonal broad beans here.
Fresh from the market today?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Always. Fresh is best, as we all know. So we had them in, I potted them before service here, and I'm just taking them out of the shells. And we're just going to finish that through a little butter emulsion with the asparagus last minute. So that's really nice. And in the background, I've had the trimming from the lamb mixing in a pan. I'm now going to hit that with a little bit of beef stock that I have and just reduce that down just to go on the plate. So a nice little pan stock there.
So that'll be a jus, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Right, so while you're potting those, just give it to Phil, Gareth. He's standing there. Get Phil to pot them for you.
I know.
Supervisor.
Supervisor. He's got a clipboard and a hard
Making
hat.
sure I'm doing it properly. So that's the fat and the lamb that I've roasted off there, and I'm just going to drain that so there's no fatty bits, and then basically get the stock in there and just start reducing it down with a little bit of red wine.
A little bit of red wine. Lovely. Russell, you're very quiet. What's happening?
Yeah, so basically I just got my beef going, got my tortillas there, my two sauces. I just started slicing my salmon for the sashimi. And I'll get that plated up ready to go, and then I'll slowly start to work on the sea bream or the Peruvian sea bream ceviche, basically.
Sea bream, sea bass?
Sea bream, I got bream.
Okay. Other fishes are available.
Other fishes are available, indeed.
So, Gareth, what's next for you? You said you're just rendering that down at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm just reducing the wine in there quickly. I've got in a bay leaf, I've got some thyme, and this is some stock that we had from earlier events. I think Phil made it for sales there. So I'm going to hope he doesn't mind. That's just going to be really nice with it.
Oh, shame we didn't get the sizzle on that, Phil. Poor camera work.
And now I'm just going to go quickly blend my pea puree. So I'll be making a little bit of noise, but the peas are now nicely cooked in there. I won't use all that liquid, and we'll just see the consistency. Maybe add a little bit more butter. We'll see how we're feeling.
That's the sea bream fillet there. So it's been the skin has been removed, and I've just sort of trimmed the belly, trimmed the dorsal fin, and I'm just using like sort of the best bit really. What we call the fillet, basically.
Well, you're just marking that so the marinade goes through?
No, I'm not. I mean, if you look at it already, it's already quite, you won't be able to see. But it's not exactly.
I'll be back.
Already got good pieces on it, so.
Gareth, what are you up to at the moment?
So I'm just prepping my asparagus, taking off the little spears on the side of it, and then I'm going to prep down the bottom, kind of like turn it, just to give a really nice appearance on it. And we'll finish it off last minute in the pan, a little bit of butter, a little bit of seasoning and water. And just bring it all together so it's nice and glazed. Just keeping it quite fresh.
Fair enough. Just a quick one for you, gentlemen, both of you. Big asparagus or thin asparagus? Fat or thin asparagus?
Oof.
What would you go for? Fat's got more flavour, but thinner, obviously, it's less woody.
I prefer the prep fat ones, because I'm prepping these little ones now.
I prefer fat as well, to be fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I mean, really, as long as it's kind of fresh and in season. I don't think it matters too much.
No. Did Phil pick that for you as well, or
First time I've ever happened in 10 years I've been doing that.
10 years? It's a long time.
Just tried that tomato fondue. It's quite acidic, so I'm going to put a touch of sugar in there just to balance the flavour.
Okay, just so it's a tomato fondue, or is it a tomato concasse?
Tomato fondue because I'm cooking it.
Okay, right, okay, fair enough.
Made from concasse tomatoes.
Okay, perfect.
Nice and simple.
Happy days. All right, that's a bit better.
Now just going on to my tofu.
And again, you're just tossing that through flour, did you say, and then frying it?
Yeah, it's just seasoned corn flour. And then, yeah, I've got this little, I don't know if you can see that small little deep fry, which I got over the weekend. Well impressed. Anyone, if you want to deep fry at home, I know it's not the healthiest, but 17 quid from Argos. Bob's your uncle. Well impressed.
Safer than a chip pan, which we all had when we were kids.
Yeah, I was not too keen on having a bubbling pot of oil on, so.
No, probably for the best. The corn flour that you're using, Russell, is it seasoned with anything? Kevin would like to know.
Yeah, it's just seasoned. Plain seasoned, a little bit of salt.
Just salt and pepper,
that's
yeah?
it. Just salt, no pepper.
Could you put anything
No
else
pepper.
in there, though? Any
You
spices
could.
or anything?
You could, if you wanted to flavor the tofu, but because the sauce is where the flavor is coming from for the tofu, yeah, you just have to basically.
Let the
me,
sauce
I'm
do the
just leaving-
talking.
Let the sauce do the talking. Yeah,
Fair enough.
exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah, pico is done. Just a little bit more seasoning in there, and yeah, ready just to heat up and go on the plate last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just waiting to go into the oven. I haven't quite decided when to go in it just yet.
Oh, all right. Well, you're coming up to your half an hour mark, so just think about cooking times and resting.
Let's see if I can get that camera.
I've allowed, I'll put you back in, Russell, so your camera, once it's up and running, should be able to get in. Excuse me.
Should be good to go. So just got a little bit of this chipotle sauce over at the moment. For the beef, I'm just gonna nappe that over the beef. Just to get a pre-cook on it. Bit of marinating.
Is that important to take some of the rawness away from it, the heat?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, the more you sort of cook it down, the more strong it'll actually become. So, yeah, just take a little bit off there. The chipotle is not too bad in the Scoville level. I know we haven't really spoken about the Scoville.
Well, the Scoville is the scale that obviously we measure the heat of chili.
Correct. So yeah, we got the Louisiana. So obviously got the jalapeno go with the chicken wing and the cayenne. So it's measured as 2,500 to 8,000 Scovilles, which is sort of at the bottom end of the scale.
And they go up into
And
the
then-
millions, doesn't it, when it gets up to the top end?
It does indeed. So the South Carolina Reaper is
Is that
apparently
the hottest one at the moment?
It's the hottest one. Yeah, that's at. It can get up to 2.2 million.
That's just
So-
absolutely mental.
I wouldn't even understand what that would even be like, to be honest.
Well, it kills your taste buds, doesn't it?
I would
Naga
agree.
ghost chili. I remember trying a Naga ghost chili, only a slither of it, and it killed all the taste buds. All you could taste was sugar. It was the sweetness.
Yeah, it's
You know,
pointless, in my opinion.
Sorry,
Scott.
Kevin.
Little, a couple of years ago, I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a chili shop in Brighton. I paid a visit. That's when I first found the chocolate chili and all that. But back in the back of the store, they used to have chilies. They were locked in a glass container and they weren't allowed to be sold to public. You had to have a license to buy it. It was
Bloody hell.
that dangerous.
Well, you've seen them on YouTube, haven't you? They can do some serious damage, like some of the stronger chilies. I'm a Heat fan, but I think it's all about substance.
It needs to have flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
It needs to be palatable. And it's I've actually done one of those. I went to a Mexican restaurant which was done in Fulham. It's now closed, but they brought this box out, the little key and a lock, and they just put a little, literally just like a toothpick's drop on a tortilla crisp, and you've got to get it down, and it's an
No,
awful experience,
Not
to be
for
honest.
me. Not for me. Gentlemen, two things. You are just past the half an hour mark, so 15 minutes left. Wendy's had to go, unfortunately. I think she's sitting outside having a meal tonight. I don't know if it's
Lovely.
quite warm enough, but fair play to her, supporting the industry. Okay, so yes, 30 minutes. You have 15 minutes left.
So I've got my chimichurri crust here now, and basically set nicely. I'm just going to cut it out in the size of the lamb, and then just quickly blast it through the oven. Just get a nice glaze on it, and then just rest it really well. So we're looking for a nice medium rare cook to that.
Okay, so you put the crust on, flash it through the oven,
Yeah.
and then just drop it back down again and let it cook out a little bit.
Yeah. So the lamb's cooked now, basically,
Okay.
nearly completely through. And
Okay.
then you're just going to put that on top and give it another flash in the oven for about a minute. Or if you had a salamander, you could drop under there, and that's just to melt it through and just help finish cooking the herb crust. You've cooked that already on the stove here, but it's always just good to get that done.
Cool. Okay, no, of course it's important we let our meats rest.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to basically be resting it for as long as you cooked it. Especially on a big cut like that, just so that the heat can evenly disperse through it. It's going to be either too tight and it's going to pour the blood everywhere, or it's just going to be quite chewy.
Okay, because it's a muscle, isn't it, that we're cooking, so it will contract and shrink. He said as he walked off camera. Russell, what are you up to? That's all right.
So now the confit chicken wings. I don't know if I mentioned that the bone's been removed. So it's a two-piece chicken wing, and just lightly pulled out the bone to keep the flesh intact and the skin. And then I've balanced it up in cling film and chilled it down. And now
so you basically rolled it in cling film.
I rolled it in cling film and then set it in the fridge overnight, and you get this little ball shape. Really, it's quite cool if you're doing canapé events and you want a little bit more relaxed to feel, or maybe even finger food. You can pop these on lollipop sticks, and it's like a deboned chicken wing. So it's quite clean eating. So quite a cool thing you can do on site, but quite labor intensive, to be honest.
You need to do it the day before, realistically, and then cook it.
You have to do it the day before, yeah. And then, all I've done now is I've run it through some buttermilk. And then I've got a seasoned flour mix here, which is normal wheat flour. And then I've seasoned it with a little bit of pepper, a bit of salt, a little bit of paprika. I've got a little bit of dried parsley in there as well. And just basically get it nice and crispy.
Lovely. Okay. Quick question, Gareth, very quickly. Meat.
Here there, Scott. Just before I chuck it in the oven.
Oh, go
on. I've just cut that out to cover the top of it, and I was going to melt down on it. You can see it's sitting a bit awkward because it's cold.
Yeah.
Just blast that into the really hot pizza oven at the minute, and just to melt it, it will settle on top. Some of it will drop off the side, but that's okay. There's plenty of coverage there, and then just rest.
Okay, perfect. Just a quick question from the chat room. Is it important to have meat at room temperature before you start cooking it, or can you just take it straight from the fridge and off your trot?
Yeah, I mean, definitely room temperature. It just cooks a lot more even and a lot quicker because you don't have to bring it up from that really cold temperature up to around the room temperature range. So I definitely bring out the meat at least an hour before you need to cook it.
At least in an hour. Okay, perfect. How about you, Russell? What are you up to now?
So now I just started with my ceviche base. So got a little bit of lime juice and lime zest.
Russell, sorry, that's your first 5 minutes. Gentlemen, you have 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left.
Oh.
The next 5 minutes are important. You need to be ready to play it up, hopefully. Sorry, go on, Russell.
So just making a nice little ceviche mix. Basically got some lime juice, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of coriander, and then some nice little brunoise, shallot, red onion, and red and yellow pepper.
Brunoise is just the cut, isn't it? It's just a small cut.
It's just a chef's way of sounding fancy,
No, at all.
As you do.
And of course, all that acidity is going to cook out the bream, isn't it? Because it's going onto the fish raw, as we know.
Yeah. So if you're in a restaurant, you'd have your plate, as I have it, ready to go. And then as soon as pretty much it's ready to go, call away, you would then dress it and send it straight to the table. It really does. The acid can cook quite quickly, so you've got to be careful.
Because I mean, obviously, people, if they try to replicate that dish, might be quite frightened about it not being cooked properly. But you need to go the other way, realistically, don't you?
Pretty much.
Not put too much on for too long a time.
Yeah, I mean, at site level, we obviously then we purchase sashimi grade goods and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's ready to go as is, really. So yeah, just taking up my beef, just going to let it rest. As Gareth said, has rested as long as it's been cooking for. And then the chicken wings are getting a bit of color, and they're going to run through the hot sauce, which I've got ready here. The hot sauce here, which is the mango habanero with some parsley, and then I've got the Louisiana hot sauce. Basically, get ready to sort of plate up, really.
So just very quickly, Russell, as we're going along, Martha's asking, when it comes to raw fish, do we freeze it, or does the lemon juice, the acidity from that, kill any bacteria in it?
It's good practice. So in the old hotel days, if we weren't able to get sashimi grade, the health and safety.
Just to go back to that word, sashimi grade. So it's obviously important that you have really good quality, really fresh fish.
Yeah. So the sashimi grade basically means it's been sort of at the depot. At the fishery, they basically shock freeze the fish. I think it's 2 hours at -24 degrees or something like that. As I was saying, yeah, at the hotel we used to do. It was required by the EHO that we had to do. Freeze it for 24 hours at -21 degrees for it to be deemed safe, a ready-to-eat product. I suppose then if you were adding the ceviche process, you're only getting rid of any other bacteria, but there wouldn't be, but it would be a bit more safeguarded that way.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, gentlemen, you are coming up to 5 minutes left.
Cracking.
Six minutes, yeah. So in the next couple of minutes, we'd like to start seeing some plating up, please.
Cool.
Russell, since you have 5 dishes, you might want to start now.
Yeah, I'm on it.
How you going, Gareth? How's that lamb looking?
Yeah, perfect. It's just resting off to the side here. Got some nice colour on it. It's ready to go.
Oh, beautiful. So what are we up to now, Russell?
So all it is now is just the tofu, and I'm just putting it through the sauce. If you can see that, I keep going to that camera. So yeah, you got the general soy sauce that's now going through the crispy tofu. I just wanted to get a bit of love, really. And then I've got my 2 flavors of chicken wings here, and all I'm doing is tossing that in and getting it all nice and coated. What I kind of like to have with a pint, you know, a bit of dirty eating.
Bar food.
I love it. Love
Comfort
stuff
food.
like this. So yeah, let me start. I can start to plate my.
Okay, Gareth?
Yeah, just starting to play up here.
Lovely.
You get the pea puree on first.
So this is a 5-minute warning, gentlemen. 5-minute warning.
Wait.
5 minutes. I've just got my asparagus blanching here now as well. When it's up and just about cooked, I'm going to get the broad beans in there and my butter, and then just cook it all together.
Cool. Russell, once you've plated up, and don't worry, you still have 5 minutes, can you take the camera down that you've got hanging up with your phone and then just like do close-ups? Not now, when you finish plating.
Yeah, no worries. We'll do.
So another question for you, Russell, because you're at home, Are you feeling more under pressure than if you were working in the commercial kitchen? Mr. Thomas would like to know.
No.
Oh, smooth. Good answer.
It's all about. You guys know, as chefs, you can find yourselves in some situations. You know, I don't know if you guys have walked into a kitchen that's you don't know where everything is. You don't know. I was due to be at another site today I'd never been in before, so I made the decision to rather work from home, all because it's familiar to me. I know where everything is. I know where to get everything from in regards to delivery and stuff like that. So I'm playing it safe in that regard.
Fair enough. Forward planning as well.
Yeah, and I can get ahead on my prep. I was doing obviously a little bit of prep yesterday, which helps because
obviously
you
this
guys
can all be
like
done
to-
in 45 minutes, though, gentlemen. Yeah, there's not too much prep. Just like things like the chicken wings.
Just the chicken wings. I
Sounds
would
like
say
a lot
are
of
the
prep,
biggest
no?
thing.
Say again, Gareth.
So it sounds like a lot of prep was done yesterday.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, man.
Gentlemen, you have 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. So I'll have to back Russell up on this one. What you can't see is Phil's off camera with Gareth prompting Gareth for this.
And then just the last bit I have here is from the wild garlic. They're the little buds that are sprouting.
Okay.
That has a little garnish for it. It's like a real burst of flavor, and that's just going to go in the buttered emulsion. So if you're looking at wild garlic while you're out walking in the park and anything now, you'll see it starting to bud, and they'll go into flowers. So this has probably only got like a 2-week life in an already very short season. So pretty special.
Excellent. Okay, 2 minutes left.
Scotty, I think you need a theme tune when you get to 2 minutes.
I like the idea of the countdown theme tune.
No, you need something longer than that. Something that's more intense.
Be like Jimmy Carr, I could do a little sketch. All right. This is where we all start. You see, this is where the swan part goes, the graceful part, and the flapping of the legs starts being seen.
Yeah, a little bit of flapping happening right now.
All right,
Hey.
boys. 1 minute left. 1 minute left. So we're going to have to take Gareth for a drink after this. I know Russell's got a JD and Coke somewhere around there.
Yeah, hang her up, ready. Off to the pub we go.
That's it. Oh, someone's induction's still going.
Yeah.
Unless it's Phil's pacemaker. All right, guys. Got about 15 or 30 seconds left. Sorry, 30 seconds left. Boom.
You know it's serious when it goes quiet.
Yeah, how's the lamb looking?
Perfect.
Bleeding out? Is it all right?
No, lovely rested. The crust is sitting on it very nicely. Exactly how you want it.
Beautiful. Right, gentlemen. Have we all plated up?
Yeah. We're there.
Yeah. Right. Russell, would you like to talk us through? Doom, look at that. Russell's done. How about Gareth?
Come on, Gareth.
I was just went to go grab my phone and it won't come off because I've taped it up. Funny. Lols. All right, so let's start with South America. So we got the Peruvian sea bass ceviche, and we've got a little bit of ají amarillo sort of dressing going through there with some peppers and shallots and a little bit of lime. And I've seasoned it with a little bit of molten sea salt. Then moving on to Mexico, we've got the blue corn tortilla.
Oh, that's your thing.
With a bit of avocado guacamole, a little bit of peppers and tomato, and then with the beef using chipotle, sorry. And then up to America, so we've got the confit chicken wings. They've been deep fried, crispy. It's been running through a Louisiana hot sauce. and a mango habanero. And then over to, which is continental, it'll be China, which is here. So the general sour sauce, so sweet and sour, crispy tofu, a little bit of grilled broccoli and some toasted sesame, and then finishing off Japan with the most amazing sauce. I cannot tell you, it's so easy to make. The chef that showed me that said you should be able to eat cardboard that's with the sauce. It's so good, and it is. With a little bit of, I just got a little apple radish salad on the side, a little bit of salmon, and that's me.
Russell, that looks absolutely amazing. Please, can you take photos before you allow your wife or anybody else to eat those plates? It's a little bit hard to see with the camera you've got. Well done. Gareth?
Thank you.
Yes.
Look over to you.
Okay, so there's the plate over here. We have saddle of lamb, which I prepped off the bone quickly. You can see the cooking on that's perfect. Nice and nice and medium. So we've got some fondant Jersey roll potatoes. We've got some lovely asparagus. The chimichurri crust has the chili through it. And we have a pea puree there. And then the tomato fondue with smoked chipotle.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That looks really amazing. Two wonderful dishes. One second. Make sure you save me some. They look both amazing dishes, gentlemen. Really well done. And like I said to you before and other people, 45 minutes, it goes really quickly and it's worrying how quickly it goes.
Does indeed. It does indeed.
Amazing dishes. Well done, chefs. Everyone's saying how good it looks.